Corey Davis, your host, and I'm thrilled to take you on this journey as we dive into inspiring stories, expert insights, and practical tips to help you thrive as a digital nomad. Welcome to the very first episode of the Jet Set Journeys podcast.
Hey everyone, so I just want to welcome you to our first Jet Set Journeys, Stories and Insights for Digital Nomads. So I got with us today, it's Roland Craeye. Welcome, Roland. How you doing, man?
I'm great. Thank you. Thanks for the welcome. Happy to see you. Well, looking forward to what we're going to talk about today.
Yeah. So, anyways,
Endorsement, Starbucks,
little free endorsement for Starbucks, but you know what? They're doing all right. So I think they'll be okay missing out on this one. But anyway, so we got, so Roland, where are you at right now? Let's tell everybody.
It's harder right now. Jakarta, Indonesia.
Jakarta, Indonesia. Yeah, so Roland's a digital nomad just like all of us. And so he's going to tell us a little bit about his story, his background, and how he got started, just like any one of you guys out there can get started. So what you got, Roland?
Well, let's, I guess, rewind it to the root of everything, which was I was born in Europe, small country called Belgium. Lived there most of my young life, teens life, and then traveled around Europe to compete in sports. And then at some point, I needed to go to the United States. And that had been a dream that I had since I was 4 years old. In Europe, we grew up with American TV, and some of these series inspired me to want to go, especially California. And so at the age of 23, I moved to LA. I knew one person there, a Korean girl, that she had a boyfriend. We were friends for a couple of years, and I was invited to go stay for a couple of weeks, and a couple of weeks turned into 28 years.
Oh, nice. Nice.
Yeah. Well, obviously, I've been staying with her and a boyfriend for 21 years.
That's funny.
I was on the couch for like a couple of weeks, and then I got my own closet because, you know, the place that I rented was like the size of the closet.
Gotcha.
And yeah, so, you know, life in the U.S., the American dream. Basically, what that means is work your butt off and, you know, just capitalism, you know, like try to gather the resources.
Yeah, I was gonna say, was the dream what you were expecting it to be? So you have this idea before you left, and how was it? Reality versus expectation.
So everything was bigger than I had imagined. When I first got to LA, I was like, wow, the buildings are huge, the roads are so big, the cars are enormous, you know.
Yeah,
And then,
it's crazy.
it was just this romanticized thing, you know, like, and I just kept going and working and struggling, you know,
Right.
the whole deal, you know. I was a
Yeah.
fitness trainer for almost 25 years.
Okay.
I worked my butt off. I loved it. I was,
Yeah.
you know, kind of saved my life. Let's put it that way. And I did other things here and there, you know, I did side gigs and all kinds of stuff.
Mhm.
But in about, I guess it was 2012, I read a book that changed everything for me. It was the 4-hour work week.
I know. I'm waiting for it. I'm like, what's the book? Yeah. 4-hour work week. And so that's awesome. It's so what did that do for you? Like your mindset?
Couldn't sleep after I read it.
Couldn't sleep. Yeah.
You know, it inspired me to take action. The idea of automating your work and basically doing leverage, using leverage like eco leverage or what do you call it, like geo arbitrage,
Right.
like
Yeah.
location arbitrage and being location independent. All those things just kept playing around in my mind. And the first thing I did was I hired a VA,
Yeah.
and I struggled to find things to give them to do, and I wanted to hire VAs so
So
bad.
you literally hired a VA, but you didn't even have like a job for them to do yet. You're just like, I need help. Whatever it is, you're gonna help me. That's awesome.
Yeah, I just wanted to try the concept.
Okay. Okay.
And once I understood that, somebody can work for $250 a week and be very happy with that. That was 2012. So, where I'm still friends with that person today.
250 a week. That's a lot.
It was a lot of money back then.
Yeah, that's a
But
lot. Like, wow. Okay. Okay.
Yeah. But they were full time
Yeah.
and they were doing all kinds of work for me that I didn't want to do.
Yeah.
And later on, I hired 4 more VAs to do various things, and I paid them various amounts.
Yeah.
That was just my first experiment, but I'm still friends with that person today. In fact, when I was in the Philippines in April, I had lunch with that VA. It was awesome.
That's cool. And Roland just pointed that out because I'm in the Philippines right now. So man, me and Roland talked about this before. We'll get into it later, but yeah, so that's awesome. So most of your VAs were from the Philippines, or are they kind of all over?
Which, in hindsight, having been to the Philippines and knowing how bad the internet is there, I don't understand how they're fair business.
Yeah, but
they manage.
they make it work. Exactly. They're resilient. Yeah. So that's why. That's awesome.
That's
awesome.
one thing I could say about a lot of the countries here. A lot of the people here are very, they're just very resilient. They've had harder lives than people in America. They are resourceful with no resources.
Right. And when Roland's saying here, he's talking about Southeast Asia. So like all these little countries around in this area, they make do with what they have. And I think that's most people in the world, honestly. Because I mean, I know people that are struggling in America, right? Living paycheck to paycheck. And it's just like, and it's hard. It's like not everyone can, it's not all golden roads. That's like some people think. And that's why I was asking your reality versus expectations. Because I know me personally, so I'm from Phoenix, Arizona, right? And so my first time going to LA, I was in my adulthood, and it was like, I went there thinking, oh, Hollywood, it's going to be the big sign, all the actors walking around, and it's like people sleeping on the streets. It's just dirty. And I was just like, the Hollywood sign. When I went, you couldn't even go to the sign anymore because people kept graffitiing it up and trashing it. So they had to gate it off. And I'm like, look, I know America seems so great on movies, but that's just the screen. That's all you see. Everything around it, they all have their struggles too. So, but everyone's experience is different. And so, but I don't know. I'm just like, man. But yeah, so I think people in general are resilient, right? And it's just this whole digital nomad thing is something that opens it up for anyone who has the possibility of being creative, thinking outside the box, and making something better, getting out of their own way. Like, like for you, Roland, you just left your country and then, came to a brand new country and started over and struggled and did the grind. And look at you now, you're you're in Indonesia just chilling in the Starbucks, like living the dream. Like people are like, how do you do it? So where'd you go from that, having all your VAs and like, so they had different tasks, but how did you put it all together?
It was okay. So, first of all, I want to say, like, having lived in 9 countries in Europe before I even went to the States was an experience that prepared me for all of this. You know? And then coming to the States with $500 in my pocket, it was you know, just being scrappy, having to figure it out. Um, so then I always knew that, like after reading that book, I knew that I wanted to go to Southeast Asia, and I had followed a couple of other nomads online that are doing similar things, drop shippers, and one guy that was a scuba diving guy, and you know, different people, and I couldn't really make the moves from in my home to reality because I was so trapped in everyday life and trying to survive. Like you say, you know, living paycheck to paycheck. I've done that. And, you know, I was married at one point. From, it was like from the year 2000 to 2007, I was married. Never had kids. Even in that marriage, I was already talking about like, hey, I want to travel the world. And she just couldn't see it, right? I just wanted to stay in one place and be doing one thing.
Right.
And well, people are different.
Yep.
Me, I already had that experience of living in different countries, and I had a taste of it. I couldn't stop. You know,
Right.
I got stuck in the American way. And then after that, marriage was over. I was single, you know, for a long time. Went through some different relationships. One of them was 8 years. And yeah, it was not the best relationship, you know. We struggled a lot together. But one of the main differences we had was like, you know, I wanted to go. And every time I would talk about it, she'd get really mad about it. I'm like, hey, let's go to Thailand. Thailand's beginner friendly, you know, like I did all this research. Nah, I don't want to go to Thailand. Just want to stay here and do my thing.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, well, that's you. You know, like we're two different people. We might be together, but like, let's keep our individuality. How about I go to Thailand for a while and I'll come back and tell you everything about it. And you could guess what the answer is. Didn't work out.
Right. She's like, hell no.
Well,
My
I
girl.
never see that guy again.
Yeah, right. Seriously, it's Thailand. But it's crazy.
So yeah, then you know, like so many people, the scary virus came around, and we all got changes in the way we live. I was working for a real estate developer in LA. Used to be a client of mine. I used to train him and his wife in the mornings, and I always used to talk about real estate with them. Like I'd be like, "Hey, what about this? Like, how do I wholesale? You know, why, you know, all these things that you hear people talk about in the real estate world. You know, like, oh, you can make quick money doing this. You can make quick money doing that. I was going to all these real estate meetings around LA, and you know, it's everybody's trying to sell something. You know, but I was like taking notes, like, you know. So then the next day I would go to them and I'd be like, hey, you're in real estate. Like, what do you think about this? Like, what do you think about that? And he'd be like, listen, you know, I started with nothing. I was a carpenter. I figured it out. I never went to any classes. You know, I just started doing things. He's like, if you want to learn this business, you got to work in it. And I thought about it for a long time. And then one day he was like, hey, I can offer you a job. Like, I know that your trade business is good, but like, it's not everything, right? So he's like, would you be interested in driving me around the city? I thought about it for a while, and I had this pride, like, oh, I'm an entrepreneur, I have my business, I don't want a job, you know, like, finally I was like, okay, I'll take it. And I was driving him around in this like SUV limo. He was in the back doing his thing. We'd go to all these different job sites. Then I start walking the job sites while he was doing his thing because I got bored sitting in the car. And I start seeing things like, hey, this could use a little of this, like, this is not really how it should be. Like, and then I talk to him about it, be like, hey, I noticed this, I noticed that. And he's like, oh, very good, very good. Here, can you email these people? Can you buy these supplies? Can you make these calls? So I became his assistant.
Oh, okay.
And within a few months, he's like, I need a property manager. So, can you just pick that up? So like I was his assistant, his driver, his trainer, his property manager. I managed 8 commercial properties. And then the office manager quit. And that's another thing I could do, And then HR kind of needed some help. I was doing HR.
Oh my goodness. Like a jack of all trades.
Yeah, so like I was like, I had my head and everything. I was like, oh, this could do some help. I got good organization skills, like trying to pull everything together. So I became operations manager. And then the virus came and we were all sent home to go remote work. And after I got a taste of that, I was like, wow, like I could do my job in 4 hours. Like, and we're not arguing anymore in the office. Like, we're just, emailing and calling and 2 Zoom calls a week, and the rest of the time I'm working part-time. And then the other time I was researching how to be a digital nomad, and I had a couple of gigs during that time helping me with the job that I was doing.
Right. That's awesome. Frees up your time. Why not? Absolutely.
Yeah. And then, after that whole thing blew over and everything went back to normal, it was like, okay, I left one part out. So throughout this period, the company was affected because construction was essential. So like everyone is still working, but we had commercial properties, some of them offices, and offices was dead, right? So we took a hit, and I was like, okay guys, listen, you can either keep your job and only get paid half, or you can quit.
Wow. Quite options. Yeah, what the heck? Oh man.
Yeah. Everybody was like, it sucks, but like, I'll take the cut. And I was like, well, I'll take the cut because I'm like only working 4 hours a day anymore.
Right.
At the Some was though, like I got promoted the month before that all started. Like 1 or 2 months before I got promoted. And as soon as I got promoted, guess what I did? I bought a Tesla, a brand new Tesla.
Gorgeous.
I was like, I hit the, the big time. After that later, I need a Tesla. Right?
Yeah, right.
So I got the Tesla. We were living in the mountains, in a nice little boho area, and like it was, that whole thing, and it was expensive. And when we got cut, like when the pay got cut, we had to move to Texas because that was like the cheapest option for us. Because my he had family in Texas, got out of farm. We moved to the farm. I didn't tell anybody. We were doing Zoom calls twice a week. Everybody thought I was in LA. And when everything was over, he said, okay, everybody come back to the office. I'm like, I can't really do that. And he's like, no, we need to do. I'm like, well, I'm in Texas.
Oh, man.
What are you doing in Texas? I'm like, well, you cut our pay. I couldn't afford to live in LA anymore. And she has family in Texas, so here we are.
Did you still have the Tesla?
Yeah.
You still have, I'm not getting rid of the Tesla. No, I'm keeping that.
I still have it now. It's in Vegas. Yeah, it's leased out. A guy is leasing it from me least
That's awesome. So now your Tesla's
After
making
you-
you money.
it is, yes.
That's
Make
smart.
a little cash flow every month. Yeah.
Nice.
But yeah, so I didn't want to go back to California, and they were putting their foot down. I was putting my foot down, so we weren't getting anywhere in this discussion. So I said, okay, I'll quit. And that was the beginning of that real action steps, to become a digital nomad, because I was like, there's no way I'm getting another job,
Right.
because as much as this job got me the promotion and the car and all the stuff, I hated the job. Okay.
Yeah.
I really didn't like it. And I learned a lot, and I'm grateful for the guys that gave me the job. Well, at the same time, I knew it wasn't for me, and I knew I was trapped, and I wanted to be full.
Right.
And I was working too much, commuting too much. It was just not for me.
Yeah.
Stressed out. Yeah. So when I quit, I was like, I'm gonna start a business. I know enough about real estate now to kind of make it happen.
Mhm.
And I did. I started wholesaling actually,
Okay.
and I know you've done that, or
Yeah.
are you still doing it?
No, I'm not doing it right now, but I will be getting back into it. But yeah, I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's interesting, But then, how the real estate market took a serious hit, like,
Yep.
what was it, 2021? Yeah, 2021. It took a hit, man. And like, for a period of time, nobody was selling, nobody was buying. It was just like, oh no. So I was looking at my money just going down,
Right.
and I actually started investing in crypto, and money was just not good. Right? And I was like, oh, you know what? People are still borrowing money. I'm gonna be a lender, right? So I started doing that. I was a broker and a lender, and a couple of months in, what happened? Interest rates went up. When interest rates went up, business completely stalled. And, again, sitting there for a few months struggling, I was like, doing the same thing every day with no results, that's madness. So,
Yeah. Yep.
the definition of madness.
Definition. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So, I was like, I can either sit here and exhaust myself every day and just keep not succeeding, or I can pivot, do something else. Right? I was like, what do people need that is evergreen?
Yeah. That's the question we all ask. Yeah.
Marketing. So I started
That's what you thought about your marketing. Okay. Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I studied marketing, and then I was in Austin. In Austin, I have a buddy that I met through I was invited to go to a men's dinner one night through a friend of mine, a really successful realtor. So we were all having dinner, all these men, and we were all meeting your people and blah blah blah. And then I met this guy named Dane Gonzalez. He has the really popular, it's called digital marketing party, I believe it's called, in Austin.
Okay.
It's super popular. It's been going on for 15 years. Big names go there, like Frank Kern and when I say big names, it's like the who's who in the marketing world, digital marketing.
Okay.
Right? All those people come there at one point, speak on the stage. And I met a guy there, super humble guy. We became connected, and then one day I saw him on YouTube, and I was like, oh, this guy's selling a course. And I looked into his course, and the next time I saw him in person, I'm like, listen, I got burned before buying courses. What do can you like show me that you actually make money? And he popped up his phone and it goes into one of his back offices and shows me live results.
Oh wow.
It's like, all right, well, this was one of my best months this year. And then shows it to me and it says like $249,000.
Not
Like
bad for a month.
months?
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. I can live with that.
Yeah. Yeah. He's like, yeah, that was just one of my best months. I'll show you the worst month,
Right.
you know, 100 and some K. He's like, I'll make some 5-digit months too. I'll be honest with you. I'm like, really? Okay.
Okay.
Well, sign me up for the course, right?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
took the course and I started getting into the business side. He's doing affiliate marketing. And then I found Amazon. I'm an Amazon influencer. I became an Amazon influencer with his help. And people think it's easy to do it, but it's easy if you know how to do it.
Right.
If you don't know how to do it, it's not easy. Because you probably mess up and not get a second chance. And so that was the first thing to start. You know what? When was the first time you made money online? What year?
For me, 2022. 2022.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
First time.
So for me too, actually, 2021 or 2022. Like the first amount that I made was like, I think it was like $1,100, because I was a broker on a loan, very small loan for dental office, okay, business loan, and I was like, yes, it works. You know, I made money online, but really it wasn't online. It was just I had a website and somebody found me, and you know, in my head I was making money online.
Yeah.
But when I made the first money through this Amazon influencer thing, that was really making money online, and it was like 37 cents. I was hysterical, man. I was like so happy.
Yeah.
I'm like, it worked.
It works.
It worked.
Yeah.
You know, and like I just put more and more energy into it. Then it started paying, you know, a couple hundred a month, and it just kept going up, right? Until I was like, I'm replacing my income. This is good, you know. And that was not the only thing I did. I did a couple other things, but you know, some freelancing. And I started getting brands contacting me to do demos for them, basically commercials. At that point, I was like, I'm buying a plane ticket to Thailand. And the reason I bought to Thailand is because my nephew is in Thailand. He has a Shopify e-commerce, like a drop shipping website. And he's been going to Thailand from Europe every year for 3 months to go work in Chiang Mai. He's 37. And he'd been doing it for a couple of years, and I talked to him about it, and I was like inspired by him. And I was like, hey man, I'm coming to Chiang Mai.
That's
So
awesome.
we met up there, and that was the beginning of it. That was December last year. I had already been to a couple of islands before I went to Chiang Mai. Then I met up with him in Chiang Mai. I stayed there for a month, and then I just bounced around different countries, and now I'm here in Indonesia.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So now we're all caught up with where you're at now. So what's your plan for Indonesia? Like, why Indonesia?
Oh, playing. Okay.
Okay.
So when I first came out to Thailand, I was playing. I had everything, like I was using Trello to plan out my whole trip. Trello is like a Kanban planner, like
Okay.
project management stuff.
Gotcha.
And I I had everything planned. Okay, and this month I'm gonna be here, and that month I'm gonna be here, and like plan it a year and a half out, right?
Yeah.
And then I booked hotels for like 2 or 3 weeks ahead of time. I bought plane tickets, a month out, and I don't do that anymore because I don't like being stuck. If I get there and I don't like it there, I want to be able to leave.
Got you. Like that freedom. You don't want to give up your freedom of being tied down to one hotel or one room for 30 days.
It still happens though. Like if I do my research, here's what I usually do. I arrive, I buy a plane ticket a couple of days out or a week out.
Okay.
And yeah, I'm paying a little more, but it gives me that flexibility that I like. In Asia, plane tickets are cheap.
Right.
They're usually between like 50 and $150. You can go most places in Asia.
Even for next day, like 2 days out, it's that cheap?
I've paid up to like $200.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, so one time I paid $400, and I'll tell you that story in a minute.
All right.
Completely unplanned, but so yeah, and I'll book the hotel in the airport or on the bus or in the Grab on the way. I'll book the hotel for 2 days,
2 days.
2 nights.
Gotcha.
Yeah, like if I like it there the first night, then I don't have to check out immediately the next day, like or like it gives me enough time that if I don't like it, I don't have to check out right away. Like I can still do things that day, but then find another place.
Oh, okay.
If I like it, then I can just book an extension, or it just gives me enough time to go on Facebook and look for a place for the month if I want to stay for a month.
Oh,
Like I'll have my hotel room for 2 nights, and I'll go on Facebook and go into the local community and talk to people about getting a room, and then I'll go see it in person. Make sure I like it, talk to the person, make sure it's all legit, and put down a deposit and move in for the whole month. That's what I did in Vietnam.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I don't make plans. Indonesia was not a plan. I ended up in Malaysia, not planned. What made me go there? Kuala Lumpur. I wanted to see if Kuala Lumpur would be a place that I might want to get residency because I have heard so much about it from the Nomad capitalist. You know who he is?
Yep. I heard about him. Yeah.
Yeah, he's always talking about Kuala Lumpur.
Mr. Anderson, right? Mr. Anderson.
Yeah. And he's always like, this is the best place just to get a second passport and all this stuff. So I wanted to see it for myself. Once I saw it, I was like, no, this is not for me. But I did travel around Malaysia. I went to Kuala Lumpur, Ipoh, Penang, Langkawi, Kota Kinabalu. I'm probably pronouncing that completely wrong, but KK, you call it. And then I went to Semporna because I wanted to dive. And then I went to the river where you can see like all the wildlife. Like I saw that nose monkey, the big nose monkey.
Yep.
It's called the proboscis monkey. I saw orangutans. I saw crocodiles and elephants. That's all the things I wanted to do. And then when I was diving in Craeye, the diving instructor was like, you should go diving in Raja Ampat in Indonesia. It's the best coral reef anywhere.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Once I heard that, I was like, okay, I'm going there.
Going there next. That's awesome.
No research. Let's go.
Let's go. So that's why you're there now, where you're at Jakarta.
I'm in Jakarta, and I was only planning on staying here for a very short period. But I made one of my first travel mistakes. I actually made 2 in a row when I was in Malaysia. I was so exhausted from going so many places, but I made 2 mistakes in a row. And those are like my first big travel mistakes.
All right, so what's the first one? So I can note this down and make sure I don't do it.
Okay, but booking flights when you're exhausted, just don't do it. Do it the next day.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
I was in a coffee shop and I was just like drinking double espresso, trying to stay awake. Booking the flight, looking for the cheapest deal. Spent 4 hours looking for it. Finally found it.
Man.
Booked it. Happy. Went to sleep. My flight was like 4 days later. Never looked at anything again. Just, I got the flight, don't worry about it. I show up to the airport. I hand her my phone. She's like, I don't see your ticket. I'm like, what? I showed up early to like make sure nothing would go wrong.
Right.
She's like, yeah, I don't see your ticket. I'm like, where's the thing on the phone? She's like, oh, it says September. We're in August.
Oops. Oops. Sorry.
I was like, oh no, that's why I got such a good deal.
Yeah, you're early, sir, but way too early. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that explains why you got the good deal. Oh,
But
man.
I was like, okay, is there anything you can do to like make this go away? But didn't happen, man.
No.
I paid for 2 tickets, to go to Indonesia.
Gotcha.
And I was like, when you realize you made a mistake, that's stupid and feel so like, can't believe I just did that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
And then I was exhausted when I got to Indonesia, and there were some challenges in the airport. So, it was just hard to find where to go. You have to pay to get in the country. It was like a whole deal. And then the ATM wouldn't give me money. I called the bank. They're like, it should work. Try it again. Didn't work. Called them again. Then I tried out an ATM. Then I'm running out to another floor. Went to the ATM there. Got the cash. Got a SIM card. Got in the ride share. 45 minutes to the hotel. And the next day I was like, I'm in Jakarta. Everything's great.
Yeah.
Going to Starbucks and work. And then I realized I have to book more nights in this hotel because or actually no, I didn't like the hotel, so I was gonna switch. So I needed my credit card to confirm the transaction.
Right.
And when I went for my wallet, and I was like, wait, where did I put it? I couldn't find it. Looked through every little pocket in my backpack, couldn't find it. I realized I left the ATM card on the cash machine at the airport.
Oh my goodness. So is this mistake number 2, or are we still rolling with number 1 being exhausted? Okay. All right.
Mistakes
number 2.
number 2 from being exhausted.
Exhausted.
So then,
yeah.
And that feeling, it's like that gut feeling of like,
Punched you in the stomach. Like, oh.
called the bank. They're like, it immediately made me feel like, okay, I'm okay. Nobody charged anything.
Okay. Here.
Like
Yeah.
in some places, if somebody finds an ATM card, you go check your account. An hour later, they've been shopping.
Right. Yeah. At least a little bit of something, right? Yeah.
Yeah, or a lot of it something.
Or
This time, nothing.
that's awesome. That's lucky.
Yeah.
But that's the country,
Well, I was
though, right? That's Indonesia. The people there are just more respectful. Or you think it's just luck?
Something I want to say about Asia, man. Anywhere you go,
Right.
it's a different vibe. And people are respectful of each other and each other's property. It's just an unspoken rule. You don't take something that's not rules.
Right. Yeah, that's from my experience too. Yeah, I really haven't had anything taken, but I haven't left anything
I'm sitting in
behind. either.
Starbucks right now. Well,
Right.
there's a lot of people here. I could go up to the next floor and buy some ramen and go out.
You froze on me. I can't. You're not moving. Okay, you're coming back. Okay, you're back now. Yeah, I lost you for a second. So you can go upstairs, buy some ramen. Then I
I'll
lost
have some ramen
you. Yeah. Okay.
and then come back and still have my laptop sitting here on this table.
Wow. Really?
Yeah. You do that in the States for 2 minutes, you go to the bathroom, you come back, it's gone.
Everything's gone. There's nothing there. Yeah. It's all. Not even your coffee. They take your coffee too. It's terrible. Yep, that's true. So now you're in Indonesia, and now you're all set to go do some scuba diving. What are you doing for work? Like, people hear, these are the stories that people hear, digital nomads, they're living the dream, but it's like, all right, but how are you surviving? Like, is your company up and going, or we're just curious?
There's under control. I'm still an Amazon influencer.
Okay.
That makes me a decent amount of money, covers my flights, somewhere to go. Then I have other income streams. I'm getting contacted by different brands that want to have me represent that product. I've done commercials. I've done reviews. I've done book reviews. I've done product reviews. When I was in Taiwan, I got to go rent a sports motorcycle to shoot a commercial on. That was fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah, different things. And then, because of the Amazon influencer thing, I can go stay in Airbnbs and hotels and pretty much review everything I see there that's available on Amazon in the US. So all the furniture, the appliances, things that, a lot of times doesn't work because the brand is different.
Right.
Right? Like,
Right.
I have brands that US doesn't have.
Uh-huh.
But if I find the brands that the US has, I can review all those products, put them on Amazon, and then when you go shop on Amazon, and let's say you want to buy a TV, right?
Right.
And you go look at the TV on Amazon, and you're like, I like this TV, but like, I wish somebody could tell me how it really is.
All right. Yeah.
And then you scroll down and you see my video, and I'm like talking about the TV like it's mine, but it's not. It's just in the hotel.
Oh, that's awesome.
And then if you if you buy that TV, I get paid. But if you don't buy that TV, but in 24 hours you buy something else, I still get paid.
Oh, wow. That's pretty awesome.
So you can go look at a hair dryer or whatever, and end up buying a dining room set and a tent to go camping and a pair of binoculars and, cycling shorts, and I'll get paid out all of that.
Out of that.
That my feeding.
Oh, wow. So it's all connected, huh? Because you brought the audience in. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a 24-hour cookie that tracks you and everything you buy. So that makes me good money. And then I teach people how to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's not easy, but it's doable. I did it within 3 weeks. I got approved by Amazon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So,
it takes time. Some people take months to do it, and other people can do it fast.
yeah.
And then what else? I do some freelancing. I create content for people. I create. There was one guy who contacted me. He wanted me to edit a whole bunch of Trump videos and put them all together in a reel.
Yeah. Yeah.
Super easy.
Yeah.
I
That's
got
awesome.
into that.
It's like
There's everything that Trump ever said about crypto.
put it all in one video, huh? Do a commercial for crypto for all those Trump
Yeah,
lovers
when you
out
see that
there.
one on TikTok, that's mine.
He's like, that's awesome. That's cool. Yeah, so multiple income streams. That's the word we're looking for. So that's all, and passive income. So that's a word that it used to elude me, is passive income. So like 5 years ago, I heard the word, right? And the concept, I knew what it was, right? Especially like in the US, they have those little scooters, and you can like just take a card and you just have an app and you sign up and it unlocks the scooter and then people just ride it around. And so I'm like, man, whoever came up with this, they're making money while you sleep, right? That's the whole point of passive income. But then I ask myself is, how do I make passive income for myself? And that's where the big question marks were out there. And it's like it was impossible, right? Feels like it when you don't know.
Okay, so passive income, I would call it semi-passive because I still have to create this upfront.
Yep.
You know, like I have to create content. I have to be on certain platforms to attract the income. It's not passive. I still have to work.
Gotcha.
But I just really don't work a lot. Like I work like, you know, some weeks I work like 4 hours, like the 4-hour work week.
Yeah.
And some weeks I work 10 hours and 20 hours, depending on how much I really want to work. You know?
Gotcha. All right.
But passive income, you know, when that really sank in with me was like, I was getting all these sales. They slowed down now, but I was getting all these sales for a mattress. A mattress that I didn't even own, okay?
Okay.
It was a friend that was moving, and I was helping her move. That was back in Austin.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, cool mattress. I could review this. So I did a quick, review of the mattress. And it didn't do anything for months. And then all of a sudden, I was selling mattresses every night.
What the heck?
While I'm sleeping on my mattress, I was selling mattresses.
That's awesome. For a mattress you didn't even own. That's awesome. So what's going to happen here is people are going to hear this and they're like, how do I sign up for your course? So we're going to share a link somewhere where they can definitely sign up for your course and learn more on how you're doing these amazing things.
Super simple, guys. Just go to my name, RolandCraeye.com, and we'll put it somewhere because the spelling's pretty hard sometimes for people. But you can, it's my Instagram as well, Roland Craeye. So at Roland Craeye is my Instagram. And then RolandCraeye.com is the link in bio. Everything I do is in there. And you can see the evidence right there. You can see my Amazon storefront. You can see some other businesses I'm still involved with in the States. But I'm really gonna narrow it down here in the next month or so. I'm gonna get out of some partnerships that I was in and just really focus in on Nomad School, which is my program.
Okay.
There's a big market for it. There's a lot of people asking about it.
Yep.
You know, a lot of people on many platforms are like, oh, how do I do this? How can I be location independent? How can I be in Nomad? Because they see people do it, and it's like this elusive thing when you're trapped in the cycle of the American dream.
Yes, it is. Yeah, it was definitely.
Nomad School is.
Gotcha.
It's the program. I don't have the domain, but I'm gonna get it. Don't get it, guys. Don't get my domain.
It's already taken. Better hurry up, Craeye. That's awesome. Yes, that's cool. Nomad School.
I'll get it right now. Well, sure, you don't. It's gone.
No, got that domain. But so got the Nomad School. Yeah, because seriously, even for me, okay, so I grew up in Arizona and they have this place up north. It's called Sedona, right? And it's up in the mountains and you have those nice houses out there. And I'm like, man, I mean, there's a lot of places in the world. People have these nice houses in the middle of nowhere. And you're like, how the heck do you commute to work? And how do you afford this big house? And our mindset of growing up, it's like you go to get a good job and you have that job and that's how you make money and you have a nice house. And it's like, that's not. Because a lot of those people who have those places, they're business owners, right? Or sometimes, are you frozen, Craeye? I think I lost you. Oh, there you go. Yeah, okay, got you. So anyway, or dual income. Some of those houses they're like one's a lawyer, one's a doctor, right? But the sad thing is they can only afford that place because both of them are working. I've heard so many stories where, one of them would lose their job and they couldn't afford the place anymore. and then they had to downsize. Actually, so my past, I was in real estate investing for a while, still new, and so this is where I learned it from. Is you always buy multifamily homes, but middle, right? Because you have people who are losing their rich house, they have to downsize, so they always go in the middle. Or people who are lower income, they upgrade and they get to another nice house. So you're always in between. You never invest on $1 million house, right? Because you'll lose, right? But don't invest in the slumps either, because now you're losing because people are tearing up your property, right? So you always want to be right there in the middle. So anyways, but yeah, I'm like, how do these people have these nice houses? This is what I want. This is my dream, right? It's location independent, like that's what we keep saying. I mean, there's all these terminologies out here, but I just like digital nomad because we're making money online with our computers, any Wi-Fi, and you can be anywhere you want to be. Now it's different than remote worker, guys, because a remote worker is just someone who works from home. And the thing is, a lot of times they can get called back in the office. They're not supposed to leave their state, city, definitely not their country. Whereas a digital nomad, they have that ability to leave their country and be wherever they want. So yeah, it's always how do you do this? So that's what we're trying to share.
Yeah, for some people out there that are still in the job world, remote work can be a good way to transition into being a digital nomad. In fact, I think it's one of the best ways. I didn't do it that way. I did everything the hard way. Like, if you want to do it the easy way, get yourself a job at a tech company or something like that. A company that's openly going to accept that you're going to be in another country. Right. You know, because listen, some people are like, oh, I'm not going to tell them. I'm just going to pretend I'm in Sedona, Arizona.
Yeah.
And I'll be in Philippines. But if you do that, you might get in trouble. You might lose your job. It's possible.
Yeah, it's possible.
But if you can get that job before you leave, where you're allowed to be anywhere you want, then that's really the best way to start. And then that gives you that security of, okay, I've got American money coming in and I'm spending Asian money, which is always good, like leverage, right?
Yep.
So if you can position yourself that way, where you're making, a minimum of $1,500 a month, maybe $2,000, and maybe $4,000, it's for the building, and like, first, then you're computer programmer or an engineer, and you're making. Man, we're frozen. Look over.
Yeah, Roland, you're frozen over here. You're glitching in and out.
Back.
Yeah, you're frozen right now. Oh, you got a lot of people on that Wi-Fi. Yeah. I think you're back now.
I got you back.
Yeah, you're good. for now.
Yeah, so I don't know what the last thing was you heard, but it basically said that if you're a coder or an engineer, did you hear that?
So last I heard was if you're living in Sedona, and then you're working from supposedly working from Sedona, and then you're in the Philippines. That was started glitching.
You might have trouble keeping that job, but if you can secure the job before you leave, and you can make $1,500, $2,000 a month minimum, you're gonna be good in most Southeast Asian countries. But if you make more, of course, it's better. If you make $4,000 or $5,000 a month here, you're doing amazing. If you're making 6 figures, you're king. It's like an exceptional life.
Yep, that's right. And so for me, on top of that is build something that's your own. Like, I know some people that they're afraid to be an entrepreneur and they're afraid to be the boss and manage other people. But that thing for me, that the scariest thing for me is to wake up the next morning and being fired, right? Like that's what got me out of my way and getting me over here to Southeast Asia, trying to build something that's going to be mine, right? Because You don't want that control from somebody else who's just kind of your puppet master and tells you what you broke away from living in that office and working that 9 to 5. But I think the next breakaway is that financial freedom. That's a big one.
And if you're afraid of that, just go the remote working route to start. Then you have that secure income coming. Let's use that with the spare time that you have and actual resources that you have. Use that to invest in yourself, learn the skills that it takes to do your own thing. But even when you're doing your own thing, you're going to be dependent on certain things like platforms, Apple, unlikely, okay? But if Amazon collapses tomorrow, I'm losing that income stream. But I have other income streams. So you can't bank all your money on one thing. I'm making money on Amazon. I'm making money on Fiverr. I'm making money on Upwork. I'm making money with different places. Lots of other platforms, by the way. And those are just a few I'm gonna drop. But there's a couple other things out there.
Yep. So getting that multiple income stream is really important because that way you're not relying on just one. And that's the scary thing is because people who work a job, they think they're secure, right? Because they're with the corporate company, right? And it's like, but that's the least secure you can be when you just have one income stream supporting you and your family. But that's just how we're raised. I mean, you can't argue with how you were raised, right? And especially back in the day when the companies took care of you all the way till you died. Like, back in the day, you'd actually got a retirement and it's like, all right, I work here for 20, 30 years, retired, they pay me. It's not like that anymore. A company, I'll let you go like tomorrow and not think twice. And that's scary.
All about the bottom line. You have to look out for yourself, even being in business for yourself, I'm not going to sit here and say it's easy. You have to be a certain kind of person. You got to take some risks. And, you can't be afraid. And you can't freeze.
Yeah. Yeah, I got you. He said you can't be afraid. Can't be afraid. Yeah.
So with me?
Yeah, I you back now?
We're freezing.
Yeah.
I'm back.
I heard you say you can't be afraid, and then it kind of stopped there.
You can't be afraid, and you can't freeze.
You can't freeze. Yeah, this is the thing with being a digital nomad, finding good Wi-Fi. But I'm in the Philippines, so it can be me too.
I think, yeah. I mean, when I was in the Philippines, that was my main problem there, Wi-Fi. Here, it's generally pretty good, but, there's a ton of people here today.
Yeah.
I'm in a mall. It's one of the biggest malls in Jakarta.
Okay.
If you ever want to experience, like, a crazy city that has it all, Jakarta is
Jakarta.
I mean, there's 10 million people here. The traffic is insane. And I was blown away by how modern the malls are and stuff like that. So it's just so much luxury here. You don't see anything like this in the United States.
How long you been there?
I got here just over a week ago.
A week? So you've been here, okay, about a week. Nice. Jakarta.
Yeah, I knew nothing about this place, by the way. Nothing at all. Like, the only thing that was, I was diving with this instructor. We dove a wreck. I was like swimming around a sunken ship. We're surrounded by schools of barracudas. I had this amazing experience. And when I came up, I was like, this is the best one so far. And he's like, wow, you should go diving Raja Ampat. I'm like, well, Raja what? Like, yeah, Indonesian. Go there. I'm like, okay. I know.
I'll go. Okay, yeah, I'll go. All right. I'll buy my ticket tomorrow, 2 days from today. I'm leaving.
People here though are amazing. Okay, and that's another thing I want to talk about. Like if you have time,
Yep.
Thailand, the people are great. Everybody says that. Oh, people are so friendly here. In Thailand, people rely heavily on tourism. Okay, it's in their best interest to be the land of smiles at all times. That's where the money comes from. Like being so funny. And in Thailand, you can sometimes feel that the friendliness is kind of fake. You know?
Yeah. No, so it's a cultural thing. And so for them, just always being happy, even though they're mad, it's part of their culture to be happy, right? And so it's just that's the land of smiles thing is, and I think it has a lot to do with the Buddhism, being a Buddhist country. So that religion itself, I don't know much about it. I've only looked into it a little bit, but from what I learned, it's more of putting out a good spirit into the world and it brings it back. And so even when they're angry, man, it's crazy. They still kind of smile. It's just kind of scary to me because I'm American. If someone's mad and they're smiling at me, I'm scared. I'm like, what's coming next? The blow up. Like, I'm out of here. Yes, oh my God. Yeah. Drop some knee kicks. That's awesome. But yeah, so yeah, you're right though. Southeast Asia, it's a different world compared to like the US and other places.
I went to when I left Thailand, I was supposed to go to Vietnam. I kind of do everything last minute. So I asked for my visa in Vietnam, put my application in, and I did something like I left something out that wasn't clear to me, like,
Right.
and I left something out, so they sent it back to me for a correction, and I didn't have enough time. I sent it back, and I was like, oh, I hope it gets here on time.
Yeah.
Didn't get there on time, so I went to the airport, and they wouldn't let me on my plane, and my Thailand visa was expiring that day, so I had to go somewhere.
Right.
So I walked around all the different ticket counters. Hey, where can I go today, like, without a visa? And I thought I was going to end up in Kuala Lumpur, but all flights were full. And they're like, only place you can go is Taipei. I'm like, Taipei, South Sudan. Where's Taipei? Taiwan.
Taiwan. Yeah.
Like, okay, Taiwan. So that's when I spent $400 on a ticket.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah,
but in the back of my mind, I was like, $400 on a ticket. It's a lot of money right now in Asia, but like, I couldn't even go from Austin to Vegas for $400. Probably.
Yeah, you're right. Yep, you're right about that.
That's just like a special promotion. Yeah, but so I went to Taiwan. When I got there, everything was in Chinese. I had no idea that was going to happen. I didn't know anything about Taiwan. I was like, wait, that's going to be hard. Anything's in Chinese. So then I went to look for food. And as soon as I saw the food, I'm like, oh, I like it here.
Yeah, that's one thing.
I ended up staying for a month. I went all the way around. Friendly people. Okay, when you talk about friendly people there, they go out of their way to help you if they see you get lost. Like, I was at the train station with all my bags. Just like, where do I go? You know, like, gotta catch a train. Don't know where to go. I don't understand anything. I mean, some lady comes running up to me. She's like, "Are you lost?"
Oh,
I'm like, yeah. Yeah. It's like, okay, I help you. Come. He like spent 25 minutes with me, fooling around, asking people, getting me on the right train. Even got on the train with me. I mean, it was crazy.
That's crazy. Yeah. So
I was like,
definitely
wow,
on my
okay, I
list.
like it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll have to check that out for sure.
I've been there twice now, Taiwan. It's like my home base now.
Nice. That's cool.
Well,
All right, Roland. Well, I think we're about out of time. This is our first one, so we're gonna I don't want to run it too long, but that's awesome. So thanks for joining us, guys. Definitely going to get Roland's links out there to you one way or another. Probably throw them in the description or not. And so until next time, thanks for stopping by, and we'll talk to you guys later.